Jesus. Testing 1, 2. Test, test. Hello. This is Matt Patella. Who's this? Oh, let me explain. We had a bad month this month, and whatever she owes will become current next month. All right, so it's just been a bad month. That's all. That's the problem. Okay, so I need to leave because I'm doing a live stream on the computer right now. Okay, thank you. How you doing, Joe? There's such a delay. This is not my site. This is the YouTube channel. So I'm experimenting with this. So I'll see what happens. Oh, who else is in here? Let's see. Just you. Okay. It says 4 people. I really wish they would just say hello in the chat. I left my email, my Skype contact, and my website. So there's a big time, like I said, delay here. So what we're going to do, what I want to do, I'm just going to practice is what I'm going to actually do. But I'm going to just give you some ideas from the stick control book. We all have the stick control book, everybody that's viewing. I'm assuming. If you don't, man, you should get one. That's the Bible. Okay? Hey, Joe, can you hear me okay? Everything coming out okay? I'm glad that you're early so I can really see what's going on here. And you can see everything. Okay, good. So, you know, there's a big delay, like I said, and then on a comeback with this is being recorded as well as being live. And the comeback, or the playback rather, there seems to be something out of sync. And I think that's just YouTube. I don't think it's on my end. But anyway, this is pretty cool. I want to do something like this every Tuesday, provided my schedule allows it. And then, you know, I wanted to, the traffic on YouTube is a lot greater than it is on Facebook or any other social media group. And I figured, well, you know, do this on YouTube and maybe I'll get like a lot of different people viewing and maybe sign up for lessons. I left my website address, I left my email, and I left my Skype contact. Okay? All right. Anyway, stick control book. Samba pattern. We all familiar with a samba pattern? I'm going to take the samba pattern down a little bit, where, this is a very basic kind of samba pattern. I mean, the samba is just a whole different school together. I mean, I've been in South America and Brazil, and I watched those guys play the samba. I mean, that's a religious thing with those gentlemen down there, or those people. And they play it. I mean, it's just such a different thing. There's like 5 or 6 different people playing. But as a drum set artist, we're only, the more we can get sounding-wise and instrumental-wise, voice-wise rather, the better off the samba is going to sound. But the basic samba pattern, the samba foot, if I'm thinking 16th notes, I'm going to play my bass drum on the count of 1, my hi-hat on the and my bass drum on the da, constantly. So it's going to be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. That's the samba foot pattern. That's the basic pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take what I play with my bottom and just use my right hand on the ride cymbal. 1 E and 2 E and 3, nice and slow. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, the 4 E and 1. Okay, so I play that up. We don't want to go there. Okay, what we want to do is take the right hand and the thought process down a level. Instead of thinking of it in 16th notes, we're going to think of it in 8th notes, in quarter notes. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So we get the movement and the feel. Understand that, Joe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's just the basic samba pattern, but slow. And I kind of caught that particular pattern, that method, with an Alan Dawson method. One of the students of Alan Dawson hung out with me, and we talked about his approach as opposed to Joe Morello's approach to things. And this is one of the ways he taught the samba pattern using the syncopation book. Now I know, Joe, you don't have the syncopation book, but you do have the stick control book, Joe? Okay, so now, if I have the stick control book, and I look at the first line, okay, the first line is being played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I say, okay, I'm going to eliminate the lefts, and I'm just going to play the rights, which would give me 1 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to substitute, instead of using the right hand, the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, but I'm going to use that as my left hand. Well, actually, let me not confuse you. This is getting a little confusing. All right, let's take the stick control book. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Instead of thinking of the stick control book like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's think of the stick control book as those two measures as one unit, thinking of them as 1 E and 2 E, the 3 E and 4 E and Then I say, okay, I'm going to eliminate the rights as opposed to the lefts, and just play the lefts with that line, which would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E. So I'm actually referencing off the line. I'm eliminating the rights. I'm thinking of it in 16th notes. I'm eliminating the rights, okay? And just playing the lefts. So if I'm playing the lefts, I'm going to play 1, 2, 3. On the snare. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You see where I had that left-hand part? Do you get that? Mr. Joe. And we're going to work out a syncopation book as well. Line 1 of the stick control. Okay. We go to line 2. The left hand now falls on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to play that against this. 1, 2 and 3 E and 1 E and the 2 E and the 4 and the 1 E and the 2. All right, let's see. Joe, can you hear this? What page? We're on page 5 of the stick control book. You want to go to the syncopation book instead? We'll go to the syncopation book. Let's go to the syncopation book, Joe. All right, let's go to page, in the syncopation book, page 30. It says lesson 12. Okay. You have page 30, lesson 12. Open up the book. Okay, you got it? Now, before we can take it anywhere, you have to understand what's occurring mathematically or reading-wise. So if I take lesson 12, that's page 30, the first line, I'm going to play it on one surface, preferably my snare drum. So I'm just going to play the line. I'm going to count the line in eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now I got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do we understand that, guys? How to read that? Now I'm just taking it down to the bottom level, down to ground zero, and I'm playing what he has written to understand how to read. So I'm doing the line as written on one surface. I'll do it again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. Now, would that be, if you understand, Joe, you got to respond to me, Joseph. I hope you're hearing me. Respond. Do you understand what I just did on that page? Yes or no, Joe? Joe, everybody, by the way, whoever is listening, Joe is really a good drummer. And he's extremely humble. That's why he's here. Can you hear me, Joe? Did my volume go up? All right, we're going to do the samba pattern. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to play that line down on the snare drum. Now that's a little slow. I'll play 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Alan Herman's. What is that? WERTGO8. What in the world is that, Joe? What is that? What is that? Oh. So I'm taking it down, and I'm playing it against a samba pattern. I do line 2, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm learning it on one surface. Now I'm taking it here. I'm going to play this pattern, and I'm going to play the line now with my left hand. Hey, Joe, I don't understand what you just wrote. Went for GOA. What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Work? Work? What does that mean, Joe? What does that mean, Joe? All right. Page 30, syncopation book, one surface, the whole page. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, line 2, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 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 line 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Up, 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 beat up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and next line. Line 2, line 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Third measure, line 4. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 5, 2 and. Hey Joe, I could not post anything. What? All right. All right. I don't know who's watching and who's listening. I hope I'm helping somebody. I mean, I'm trying to get a format going on, and this is the second time I'm doing the YouTube thing here, and it's not easy because I don't know what you're receiving on your end. I know what I'm doing here, and there seems to be a big time delay. Okay. All right. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're on page 30 of the syncopation book. We all know how to do that, correct? Does everybody in this? There's 5 people watching. We all know how to read it. People help me out here. Just say yes or no. Just go into the chat. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. And a good friend of mine, Dennis Lee Fang, did a show for my site. And he's really a really good drummer, a good rock drummer, a good drummer, all-around drummer, good knowledgeable person. And, you know, I used to take a reading on the drum pad or the surface and do it a few different ways. But there was one way that he did that really, like, you know, said, wow, it opened up a tremendous amount of doors for me. And I have to always mention him because he has to take credit for this for helping me. And what he did, he had the 4 limbs, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he said, okay, we're going to play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes with all 4 limbs. 3, 4. Then he says, all right, select a line, say from the syncopation book. The line 1 from the syncopation book. Okay? And assign it to a voice. All right, so I say, okay, I'm going to assign that to my bass drum. So if I played the first measure with my bass drum, I would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, which is pretty easy. But now I'm going to play all 4 limbs. Now I'm going to say, all right, while my 3 limbs now are playing the quarter note, I'm going to play that line with my bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3, here we go, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm doing it slow, and it's just a fun way to read it. Now, that is assigning just my bass drum. Say I want to assign my right hand. So now I say, okay, bass drum, snare drum, and hi-hat is going to play quarter notes while I play that line down with my right hand. 1 and 2. I'm going to play the right hand on the bell cymbal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now I did it with my bass drum. I did it with my right hand. Now it's my left hand that needs to take a turn, okay? So I'm going to play that with my left hand while my other 3 limbs play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm not trying to blow through this and play it extremely fast. All I'm doing is playing it slow so you understand and you can follow me. So, Joe, I know you're here. You're part of the total I have on the bottom, and there's 4 other people here. I don't know who's here. I would really appreciate, at least say, hello, my name is George, or hello, my name is Sam, or whatever. Do we all understand this? Okay, well, I could do the whole page like that and have some fun. I use my right hand, I use my bass drum, my right hand, and my left hand. Now, the left foot is the forgotten foot, okay? And that's pretty hard to get up there fast, so we're going to do it slow. This time I'm going to play all 3 limbs quarter notes, the bass drum, the ride cymbal, and the snare, and we're going to assign the line to the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 4, 1 and 2, 3, 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 4, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to do the whole page, but that's just a different way to do that. It's a fun way. Instead of just going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that's one way to do that, and also, we just did it with the samba pattern. Now, who doesn't know, who doesn't understand the difference between straight up and down and swung? Well, whether you understand it or not, you're going to, what's happening? What's going on? That's the other mouse. 900 mouses, so boy. Hold on. Okay. Just let me get this going up here. Wait. All right. I guess that's good. Okay. Man. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to explain the difference between straight up and down and swung. Now, you'll never see anything written out swung. It'll say swing or swung, the notation. So let's just take the first page of the stick control book, the sticking pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the first measure. Now I say, all right, let's, instead of playing it straight up and down, which was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to swing it. Now swinging it kind of gives you a nice feel. It opens up the spacing between the quarter note, the distance. It makes it feel good. And as soon as somebody says swing, I immediately go to triplet. And like I keep saying to everybody, the way I count triplets is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And occasionally I'll count triplets as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for just I mean I can't even talk today. Whoa. I'll count for I'll count triplets 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to break it up or subdivide a polyrhythm. Okay, or occasionally a lot of people they count triplets as 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and they're not incorrect. I mean that's a way to count the triplets, but it doesn't work for me. I don't particularly care for that. Okay, or some people even go to the extreme and go 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, and you know I'm staying with 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 for subdivisional reasons. And then I'm going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how I'm going to explain the straight up and down and the swung. Straight up and down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to say, all right, let's swing that line. So now the ands that I'm playing becomes the last note of the triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So I play it up tempo. 1. Like so. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You might see it a lot different if I did line 3 of the stick control book, whereas two rights and 2 lefts is 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's straight up and down. So I'm going to say, okay, let me swing it. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and So we're going to go to the stick control book right now, and we're going to interpret the line with a jazz feel or swung. Okay? And we're just going to play the rights with the bass drum. So if I think of the line 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to substitute the right for the bass drum, and we're going to still play the left on the snare. So I have the bass drum and the snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I go to line 2. I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and line 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 5, the paradiddle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, so now once we establish that, and I have my left foot also was playing as well on the count of 2 and 4. I was using the heel and toe method. My heel was on the count of 1. My toe was on the count of 2. So I get a chick. On the count of 3, my heel comes down. I open the hi-hat. On the count of 4, I bring my heel up, my toe down. It closes. So I'm counting triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now while I'm doing that, I'm going to play a jazz time, a straight ahead time. Now you have to understand something here. I'm playing straight ahead and I'm playing my time one way. I mean, you could play jazz time any way you want, melodically, outside, open time, or whatever you want to do. This is just going to be straight ahead time. Okay, now, the way I interpret, or the way I was taught a straight ahead time was like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and the 4 and the, like so. Excuse me. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I never forget the time that Joe Morello asked me, well, again, go and hear you play. Let me go hear you play your jazz time. And I went up to his drum set, and I guess I sounded like somebody who was a rock drummer trying to swing, and I was like this. And he didn't laugh. He was very gentle. And he goes, if you don't mind me saying, you sound like a marching band. And he was right. So how did I correct that? And he showed me. I'm playing a straight ahead time with my right hand, and I have 4 quarter notes inside of this. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and that. And all those quarter notes should sound the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to establish that. And I have duh of 3 and duh of 1 that needs to, it's a little bit lighter, so the levels come into view. So I have this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Full stroke or free stroke down, a free stroke down, a free stroke down. All 4 notes are sounding the same. So I have 3, 4, 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the line like we just interpreted. All the right's the bass drum, all the left's the snare drum against this jazz time. 1, 2, the 3, the 4, the thing, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Line 2. Line 3. Line 4. Does everybody understand that, or should I slow that somewhat down a little bit? Yes, no, maybe, by chance. Everybody understand that? That interpretation? Because now we can take it to the syncopation book once you understand that interpretation. I need a response from somebody. Okay, no response. No problem there. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the syncopation book. Page 30. That's lesson 12. And I'm going to swing the page. Okay? And what I'm going to do is it's mathematical right now. I'm not humming a tune. I'm just playing the notation the way it's written mathematically. Okay? I'm going to play the jazz time. My left foot, 2 and 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3. Here we go. Line 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm doing is I'm playing my bass drum straight 4. 1, and I'm feathering it. I'm not playing like a rock drummer, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Nice and easy. I blend it in to the jazz, to the cymbal, to the hi-hat. And my snare drum is actually the voice that I would like to pronounce. So it should be above all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Line 2. Okay, line 3. All right, we all understand. I'm not getting any questions. I guess everybody knows how to play that. I guess. Okay. And don't misunderstand. It's not just one way to play. I like to get that 4 down because I'm laying it down with the bass player. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No responses from nobody. I feel so bad. Okay, that's page 30. You can do that with any page in the basically any page with the syncopation book, the eighth notes and quarter note combinations. Now, I can do 2 more ways that I interpret this page and I do stick control book as well. Now, what I call a triplet fill-in. All right. If I did, we're on lesson 12, page 30. If I play that line, just with my right hand swung, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so I'm going to play that line as written. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the balance of the eighth note triplet with my left hand. So I look at the first downbeat, there's a rest, and I'm just playing the da with my right hand. 1 and da. So now I want to fill in the balance. 1 and da. Then I come to 2, it's a quarter note. 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. So now I'm going to play it up tempo a little bit. Now you can have a grand old time interpreting the page like this. Okay, 1. Now I'm just keeping it on the snare drum, but you can just move it around all over the place. All over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just from one figure, moving around. I'm orchestrating it around the drum set somewhat and having a good time with it. Now, I haven't done this page that way in ages because I stay with the stick control book and do that. So if you go back to the stick control book and you interpret the stick control book line 1 as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you leave the lefts out and you just have the rights 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now what you're going to do now is put in the left hand to fill in the balance of the triplet. So line 1 would be. Do line 2 like that. Now you have it's reversed. You have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you want to move it around the set. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And you want to have a good time. I recommend, and I think it's a good exercise going from the downbeat to the upbeat. 4, balance. 1 and the 2 and the 3. I like line 5. So on and so forth. You just have a grand old time with this. And you can play that against the jazz time. 1, 2, 3. Just here. Just play all the rights now with the bass drum. Line 2. Line 3. So on and so forth. Still, only 4 people in here now, no questions. Okay, that's all right. No, everybody knows this stuff. Okay, no problem. All right. Now, what I do, let me go back to the drum pad. I mean, if I got some questions, man, I'd stay on the drum set. However, nobody wants to scream and holler at me, give me a hard time. You know, there's not much I can do. Okay, let me share an exercise with you. It's a good one for your hand development. Well, all exercises are good for your hand development. I come up with a ton of formulas with the stick control book, as R becoming one thing and L becoming something, okay? So for this next exercise, I make all my rights. Every time I see a right, I'm going to play a triplet, 3 rights. And every time I see a left, I'm going to play 3 lefts. So with that formula in place, if I did the first sticking pattern, right, left, it would become 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Sorry about that. I just made a mistake on that. Do you see the formula? You understand the formula? R becomes 3 rights in a triplet formation. L becomes 3 lefts in a triplet formation. Do we understand that, gentlemen? Okay. So I'm going to put the metronome on and say something easy. Take it to 100. A little faster. That seems like a pretty good tempo. That's 110. Now, I'm going to do the first line, right, left, and R equals 3 rights, L equals 3 lefts. 1, 2, here we go. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to line 2. All I'm doing is I'm starting, instead of with my right, I'm starting with my left. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and the 2, 3, 4, 1. I like line 5 because it distributes the attack of the triplet, right side and left side, equally. Okay, so we have line 5, which is the paradiddle, right, left, left, and putting that formula into use with that sticking pattern, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, do we understand that, gentlemen? And I'll go through the whole thing. like that. And, that's a hand exercise. As a drum set exercise, what I like to do with that is exercise my limbs. So I'm going to use a substitution. And you're not going to get this too fast because there's a lot of different, your right foot's going to have to be as fast as your right hand. That's cool if you can get it that way. There's guys out there that do that. God bless them. Or bless them, whoever. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the first exercise I did. That was 3 rights and 3 lefts. And I'm going to substitute the right hand for the bass drum. Line 3, 2 rights and 2 lefts would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm developing that, I'm orchestrating that somewhat on the drum set. But I want to play this, the jazz time now. So I'm going to take the first line. That's going to be 3 rights and 3 lefts. Go to line 5. Now, to me, I'm not bashing anyone else's concepts or approaches, but man, just that Mr. Stone is just one heck of a brilliant person putting all this together. Unbelievable. I just live in that stick control book, and in my opinion, and like I said, I respect everyone else's approaches, and I just think everything is on the first 3 pages. Maybe that's pretty insane of me to think, but I see it. Maybe I was blessed with some wacky vision, I guess, or thoughts. Okay? But anyway, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to sit here and practice it over and over again, and you watching me play a triplet 1, 2, 3, 4 for 5 minutes. What I need is some participation, some content, some questions, please. I'm trying to throw stuff out here, and you should ask me some questions, and I'll try to help you if I can. What's the purpose of this? What songs that belong to? Bilinga, the bongo, all that shit. So just say it, please. Or, I just put the pad on and do my stick control routine. If you want to see me practice, or you want discuss different concepts and different things. I practice by myself. Okay. Okay, the alternating triple. I'll give you one more, and I'm going to close it up. No, there's no response. Alternating triplets. Ain't no triplets. What we have right, left, left, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I do right hand triplet, it's right, left, right. Okay, thank you, Joe. When I do a left hand triplet, it's left, right, left. Okay, so if I take right, left, right, and make that a part of a formula, saying every time you see an R, that becomes right, left, right. Let's say I have 4 rights in a row, sticking. I just played 4 triplets, but they were right hand lead. 1 and 2, 3, 4. I have 4 and. But you see the level in there, and I put myself in position to nail the accent. 1 and 2 and nice and slow and mechanical. It's okay to be mechanical because once you're mechanical, you understand the movement and you can relax inside of that and play it. So if I play just the right hand, and I played it on a hi-hat, part of a halftime shuffle. But we don't want to go there. I'm just showing you where you can go. Now, if I take the left and say, all right, the left is going to equal left, right, left. But notice I'm putting an accent on the count of one of the triplet. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Right, 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 right. Left, 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 left. Left. We have 1, 2. Okay, so when I go to line 3, for example, of the stick control book, that's telling me 2 rights, 2 lefts. I just want you guys to know I have a new book coming out soon called Beyond Control. And I have all these different formulas in it. It's going to come out in about 4 volumes. And it's about the zillion ways to do the stick control book and have fun. Okay? But anyway, back to the triplet. Right, left, left. So that's cool. It's a hand exercise. And I'll run down the whole stick control book that way. And I'm putting the levels inside of that. And it's very important that you do the levels. Because the levels put you in position to attack very fluently, very relaxed. No tension whatsoever. You're putting yourself in position. Right, left, right, right. So what I do now, this is the last one I'm going to do. That's a hand exercise. And I'm going to take it over to the drum set 2 different ways. I'm going to do the substitution again. Instead of me playing right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, 1, 2, right, left, I'm going to substitute the bass drum for the right hand. Okay, so now instead of me having 1 and I'm going to have 1 and So now I'm going to play the triplets between the bass drum and the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do line 3. That's 2 right hand triplets, 2 left hand triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do the whole page. So what I'll do now, hello jazz time. Independence. Line 1. All R's equal to bass drum, all L's equal to snare drum. I haven't done this in a long time, so what I'm going to do is line 3. 2 rights, 2 lefts. Hold on. Line 5. Ha. You gentlemen understand that? No. Yes. Okay. I guess that's enough for today. I have to practice. We're going to play an 8th note vamp. You want to watch me practice a little bit. What I want to do is I want to put the metronome on 150. And I'm going to vamp with my left hand 4 measures of 8th notes like this. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 4 measures with my right hand. 1 and 2 as a warm-up. So hopefully you can hear the metronome. 1, 2. And let me put a timer on here. I got a little timer I use. I'm going to do this one for 2 minutes. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. fast enough. I thought I was hearing things. Okay. That's my norm when I do the stick control book. And it's nice to do that on a drum pad. But some people don't have the luxury of, at 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning to play on their drum set, which I have. Not always did I have that luxury. I had to work towards that. And now I can just get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and play. Not a problem. Because my two kids that live here are drummers and my wife is a drummer. So it's a drum house. I might, get a little static from the little baby because she wants to sleep, but that's okay. She'll come in and practice with me or tell me I'm doing paradiddles wrong. Okay, so I thought I threw out a lot here today, and this is like an experimental thing that I'm going to do every Tuesday. So what I threw out there, and you have any questions, think about it. And next time, if you're going to come back next time, come back and throw the questions out here. Now, I don't think you should have any problems getting into the chat. And all you have to do is say, hello. And I'll say, hey, what's up? It's very simple. It's very sociable. And, give me your input of what you think and tell me, it's, what were you doing there? How did you come to that? Well, you have a different way, but whatever. No attitudes, or just always being humble. Okay? Now, I could keep going on and on and on. I'm not going to, I have other students coming in here today, but I just thought, like I said, let me just throw some of this stuff out here. And if you have any questions, write them down if you'd like. What's this? Yep, thank you, Joe. All right. Joe's really a good drummer, man. He's been playing a long time. And, he's always sharing his thoughts. And I like that. It's just like, there's nobody, the teacher to student relationship. To me, you kind of, we're all on the same journey, guys. We're all trying to become better and know more than we know today. Okay? And discovering our own voices or changing our own voices. So I treat everybody as an equal. However, there's no one better, or there's no one, everybody's maybe in a different place. For example, and I use this all the time, Joe Morello, for example, to me was one of the greatest drummers ever. And then you look at Elvin Jones, he was one of the greatest drummers ever. Both were great guys. So how do you compare them? You don't say they were great. One's better than the other. They were just different in a different place. And they contributed a lot to the world, drumming world. Same thing with Buddy Rich and Max Roach. Let me do one more thing, okay? And I've been working on this, and I was inspired by one of the videos somebody sent me by Ari Hojan. Ari Hojan is one hell of a drummer. I never met him. I would like to. Okay? He's someplace in New York, and, he did a rendition of the drums also waltz like Max Roach, but he come up with this, the drums also 5. Now, what he did with that was he put an ostinato pattern on the bottom, and on the top he played against it, where he phrased really nice against that ostinato. Now, for you who don't know what an ostinato is, it's a pattern which repeats itself over and over and over again. You can't say perpetual, because perpetual would mean never ending. It's just that you're playing a pattern for a period of time, over and over again. Now, what he does with the 5/4, it's in 5/4, and for those who don't know what 5/4 is 5 beats per measure. Each quarter note receives a count or a beat. So if I was playing 5 with the bass drum, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, measure. Now, he incorporates his bass drum and his hi-hat. He incorporates, and he kind of gives, he's in 5/4, but he gives me the feel of 2 different time signatures, like 3/4 and 2/4. which 3/4 plus 2/4 equals 5/4. So he's giving me a standard. He was not giving me. He's giving everyone else. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the first part. Then he goes to 4, 5, 4, 5. So if you play it over and over again, you get this kind of sound. Now, that's a pattern in which he plays over and over again. And believe me, it's not easy. You know, first you have to feel comfortable inside of that foot pattern. You have to separate it, and then you're going to phrase. So what I do, I have a good time. I focus mostly just on that pattern and try to play against it somewhat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, so I'm working on that, and it gets insane. What's that? The sticks butt, the 5 kicks butt. Yeah, sure does. You know, I like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. I had a gentleman that posted in one of the Facebook rooms, the Art of Drumming rooms, and he said, "Who could tell me what song I'm practicing?" There was no music, and he was playing this over and over again. Now, it's just simple. If you hear that over and over again, you can kind of figure it was 5/4, and yeah, that's tune the take 5. And I was just fortunate enough, as a couple of my great friends here, I don't know if they're in here or not, studied with Joe Morello, and we've had with Joe Morello. I've had many discussions about his 5/4. And he always would make fun of me, not in a good way, to help me out and to make me play better, which I really respected and appreciated. And what I was trying to help the gentleman with is that the 5/4 that is being used in that song, the take 5, is an ostinato pattern. Now, when I played it for Joe, my playback of that, he didn't laugh, but he showed me what he was doing on the original take 5. And his bass drum was playing all 5 notes, but they were feathered in. 1, 2, 3, 4, just about to hear it. 1, 2, I'm going to pronounce it now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't play it that way. It's not feathered. I'm just telling you that's what you're playing. Now, the hi-hat, he used a heel and toe method. The heel will come down on 1. The toe will come down on 2. The heel will come down on 3. The toe will come down on 4. The heel will come down on 5. Actually, it would not come down. It would come springing back. And then again, you come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Against the bass drum pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can hear the bass drum, but I'm going to bury the volume on that bass drum somewhat when I'm playing the ride cymbal. Now the ride cymbal, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5. 1, 2, the 3, 4, the 5. 1, 2, the 3, 4, the 5. 1, 2, the 3, 4, the 5. That's basically what he's doing. Who's this? Hey, Mr. Alan Herman. All right, well, thank you, Alan. I don't know what the cause of that is either. I think maybe it's being picked up by. Hold on a minute, Al. I'm going to shut off the mic that I'm speaking through while I play. And tell me if that changes. All right, here goes the mic is off. Okay, was that a little better? Is there any echo when I was playing? Because I think that's what's causing it, is the microphone I'm talking through. Okay. Anyway, I'm about to close up. Alan. Hey, Joe, when I was just playing just now, was there any echo from the drums? Alan, was there any echo? Because I turned the microphone off. I might have to just invest in a switch to turn the microphone off when I'm playing the drum set. You say the voice is okay. I don't know what the problem is. What is that? No. When I play the drum set, I turn the voices off. I mean the mic off, and I play the drum set. Do you get an echo, Joe? Or Al? Okay. All right, anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming by. Hopefully I could rectify this issue with the feed, the echo and whatever. This is like new to me on this particular thing here. I just might get aggravated with the whole thing and just invite everybody over to my website. Now, if Alan, you're still in the room, I don't have my keyboard. So would you put your Sue address, the Art of Drumming address, after hours, and my address? Would you do that for me, please? If he's not there to help, if you go all the way to the top of the chat, you'll see, and there's an invitation. Okay. All right. Anyway, if you gentlemen are interested, you go up to the top of the chat. It should be in there. My email address, my Skype address, my website address, and my invitation to Sue, TSU. They got a little funny face in there, which should be .com. So anybody interested in joining, we'll put you into the Art of Drumming. And Alan Herman and I started the group over there, and it seems to be doing a lot better, a lot more sophisticated than the Art of Drumming groups on Facebook. Okay, so I'm off to see my practice pad and the students that are coming today. I hope somewhat that, I can take care of this issue. We'll see everyone back here if they'd like next Tuesday at 12. I might just do a drum pad thing next week. I'm not certain if I don't resolve this issue. No problem, Joe. Have a good day.